Hello, friends. This is Dr. K. Bhavani Shankar, and we are dealing with industrial sociology. Today, we'll be discussing about various amenities being provided for the workers under various labor acts. First, we will discuss about the Factories Act of 1948. According to the Factories Act 1948, Section 42 to Section 49, it has provided certain specific provisions for the welfare of the employees. The first one is, according to Section 42, we need to provide washing facility for the people because they'll be working in the industry, so their clothes may be spoiled. So, for that reason, they have to provide washing facilities so that they can wash and they can come in a neat dress, my dear friends. The second one is, according to Section 43, facilities for storing and drying the clothes. Because taking the uniform to the house, washing all this thing will be a difficult task. So they said that we have to provide washing facility. At the same time, we also have to provide the drying facility and also the storing facility. So they need to have cabins where they can keep their clothes there itself, so that the next day when they come to the office, again they can put on the uniform and they can go for work, my dear friends. So this according to Section 43 of Factories Act 1948. According to Section 44, my dear friends, it provides the facilities for occasional sitting or rest for employees who are obliged to work in a standing position. Because if people are going to stand for longer period, obviously what happens, they'll be they may have leg pain, backache, and so on. So for that reason, they said that we need to have a sitting place where they can go and relax, reduce their fatigue, so that they can work effectively. So actually, it is a benefit for the organization, not for the benefit of the workers. Because if the person is tired enough, then he will not work effectively. So for that reason, if the person is going to take rest and then come after releasing the stress, everything, he'll work with more energy and more enthusiasm. So the company itself is going to make benefit out of it. So according to Section 44, it says that we need to provide occasional sitting or rest of they can to first aid boxes and cupboards. If there is at least there must be at least one first aid box or cupboards for every 150 employees. And if there are nearly 500 or more than 500 employees, my dear friends, we also need to have an ambulance facility, because the number of people working, the number of accidents can also increase. For that reason, my dear friends, that means it's a large scale industry employing more people. There are chances that there may be accidents. So they said that we need to have an ambulance facility if there are minimum 500 or more employees being hired by the industry. This according to Section 40. Okay. According to Section 46, they said that we need to have a canteen facility if there are more than 250 employees. If an organization is going to have at least 250 or more than that employees, then the organization need to have a canteen facility, that too with subsidized rates, my dear friends. When I have gone to Nippo Batteries way back in the year 1997, we have seen that 10 paisa tea, 15 paisa coffee, 1 rupee meals, full meals, that too, my dear friends, 25 paisa breakfast. That was a canteen facility provided for the workers on very, very subsidized rate, my dear friends. So our duty is also to provide canteen facility along with subsidized rate, so that the people can afford for their food, my dear friends. If they're not going to have sufficient food, that means they do not have sufficient energy. That means they will not be able to work effectively or rigorously. Remember that. For that reason, Section 46 of the Factories Act 1948, it says that we need to have a canteen facility if minimum 250 people are working in the organization. According to Section 47 of the Act, it says that we need to have shelter, restrooms, and lunchrooms if there are minimum 150 people working in the organization. For example, if there are no restrooms, what happens? The people simply cannot stop the whole day. So obviously they go here and there and they do all the nature call in the nature, which may create nuisance, and it may also turn the organization into unhygienic condition. So our duty is to ensure that we are going to have a proper restroom, that to proper toilets, everything, and also ensure that these are properly maintained, or else it may lead to disease which spread from one person to the other persons too, my dear friends. And we also need to have a lunchroom where all the people can sit and have the lunch in a proper way. And after having it, if the people wants to have a small nap, if you can have a decent space, my dear friends, then people will go and have a small nap so that it will help them in reducing the fat and regaining the reducing the fatigue and regaining the energy, my dear friends. So according to section 47, it says that we need to provide shelters, restrooms, as well as lunch rooms if there are minimum 150 people working in the organization. Then according to section 48, if any organization is going to have at least 30% of the employees, um, or at least 30 women employees working in an organization. Just now we said 47, section 47, at least 150 people. Out of 150 people, at least 30 women are working in the organization. That means they can be a prospective mother, or else they are already the mothers, and they may have small kids, my dear friends. So in order to take care of the kids, everything, we need to have baby care center or crèches, my dear friends. So according to section 48, they have provided the provision for the women who have children, that they are going to have crèches so that they can take care of the children, my dear friends. Recently, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we are going to have elections, parliament elections. And one of my colleagues, she had a problem. Her husband is expired, he is no more. And she has a son who is not normal, he is abnormal. And she does not have much relatives. She is the only daughter, and even her parents have expired, even the in-laws are expired, and she does not have relatives from either of the side, and she does not have a cordial relation. And right now, the election commission has appointed her as the uh, officer for election duty. And the ladies said that, see, I'm a single mother and my child is abnormal. How do I take care of both the activities? So she expected, she expected, and she also gave a letter to the chief election officer saying that please exclude me from the duties, because if you go to the election office, like if you go to the polling station, you don't have a baby care center or a crèche or something like. So at the time, the mother will be concentrating only on the child back at home, my dear friends, not on the work. And if she's not going to concentrate on the work, there are chances that there may be accidents in at workplace, and the lady may be put to death, or else she may be handicapped temporarily or permanently, or else there can be breakage of machines, my dear friends. For that reason, they said that our duty is to take care of the women as well as their children. So, in case they have children, our duty is to provide baby care centers or crèches. Then, according to Section 49 of the Act, it says that there must be welfare officer if there are at least 500 or more employees working in an organization. Then the organization need to appoint a welfare officer, my dear friends. So the welfare officer can be a person who has completed personal management and industrial relation, or else he has done MSW in human resource management, or else MBA resource management. Actually, once over a time, they used to appoint sociologists, my dear friends, were this welfare officer, because they try to know about the individuals in and out, about the social conditions, about their economical conditions, about their behavior, everything. Because sociology tries to take each and everything to study the human behavior. So for that reason, they used to appoint sociologists as industrial welfare officers. Their duty is to understand the problems. Their duty is to mediate between the workers and the management, and ensure that there will be no problems within the industry, my dear friends. So these are the provisions being provided to the workers according to the Factories Act 1948. Now let us discuss about the Plantation Act 1951. According to this act, my dear friends, they said that if there are minimum 150 people, we need to provide canteen facility. If there are at least 50 women working in the organization, we need to have a baby care center or a crèche facility. Then we also require recreational facilities for the workers as well as for the children, my dear friends, because it is going to refresh them. It is going to kill the boredom, kill the monotony, everything. Then we also require educational arrangements. If there are more than 25 workers, children, are there in the age group of 6 to 12 years. So at least there may be 500 people or at least 25 people, anything like. But if there are 25 workers who have the children of in the age group of 6 to 12 years, then it's the duty of the industry or organization to provide educational arrangements or facilities for the employees' children. Then we also require housing facilities, because if they're going to have a decent living, decent house to stay, so they can have a proper rest, come in a better way, relaxed way to the organization, so that they will work effectively. Then we also require medical aid to the workers, family members, sick to the sick people, and we also have to provide maternity allowances, my dear friends. Along with this, they said that if there are minimum 300 or more people being employed in an organization, they have to appoint an industrial welfare officer. This according to the Plantation Act of 1951. When we see the Mines Act 1951, they said that we need to provide shelter for taking food as well as rest if there are at least 50 or more workers employed. Even if there are 50 people, our duty is to provide a shelter where the people can go and take or relax during the intervals, breaks, or during the lunch break, my dear friends. At the same time, they also need to have a space where they can go and have the lunch, my dear friends. Then at least if there are 150 people working, at least one first aid box. Then if there are at least 250 or more people, then canteen facility. And if there are at least 50 women working, then we need to have a baby care center or a crèche, then provision of restroom, bathrooms, and so on. And if there are at least 500 people working in an organization, then we need to have industrial welfare officer. These are the 6 kinds of provisions provided to the workers according to the Mines Act of 1951. Then according to the Workmen's Compensation Act of 1923, as per the act, it says that the employer is liable to pay compensation if the personal injury, it may be temporary or it may be partial or permanent disability or temporary partial disability or death caused because of the accident arising in or in the course of employment. The duty of the management is to provide compensation, my dear friends. The compensation can be like financial compensation, giving a lump sum amount, or else giving employment to at least any one person in the family so that they can make a living. So the Workmen's Compensation Act said that our duty is to provide compensation for the person who has been diseased or else is temporarily or permanently handicapped, my dear friends. According to the Maternity Benefit Act of 1961, it tries to regulate the employment of women in certain establishments for a certain period of time before and after childbirth, and provides for maternity benefits and certain other benefits, including maternity leaves, wages, bonus, nursing breaks, and so on to the women employees. Under this act, my dear friends, an employer had to give a paid leave to the women workers for at least 6 weeks immediately following the day of her delivery or miscarriage, and 2 weeks following a tubectomy operation. The maximum period for which a woman is entitled for maternity benefit will be for 6 weeks, my dear friends. 6 weeks. At the time when the act has been born, right now it has been increased to 6 months, my dear friends. And according to the Employees State Insurance Act, my dear friends, which was brought in the year 1948, it says that industrial workers may be exposed to problems like health issues, sickness, disablement, maternity, old age, employment, and so on. At that time, my dear friends, because these people will not be working, at the time it may lead to financial loss. So according to the Employees State Insurance Act 1948, it provides for certain benefits to employees in case of sickness, maternity, unemployment, or injury, and so on. It is going to say that it's going to provide the benefits to the insured persons like medical benefits, sickness benefits, disablement benefits, maternity benefits, dependence benefits, and so on, my dear friends. And according to the Payment of Gratuity Act of 1972, It applies to all the establishments in which at least 10 or more people are employed on a day-to-day proceedings for at least 12 months. According to this act, my dear friends, we are going to pay the gratuity a reward for long service as a statutory retirement benefit. Every employee who has completed continuous service of 5 years or more, irrespective of their wages, my dear friends, they are entitled for gratuity upon termination of the employment. It may be because of superannuation, attaining the age of 60 years, or at the time of retirement, or death, or disablement due to accident or disease. So, any of these reasons, if any person is going to work continuously for 5 years, my dear friends, they're entitled for the gratuity, my dear friends. Then, according to Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952, um, it was created for providing provident funds for the employees in the factories and other establishments. The objective of this act was to make some financial provisions for the future of the industrial workers after they retire and for their dependents in case if they are dying early. Thus, the Act provides the institution to have this provident fund for employees in the factories as well as in other establishments. So, the Act, uh, according to Section 16, my dear friends, it will be applied to every establishment employing at least 20 or more persons, my dear friends. Second one, it also says that it is applicable to any other establishment employing 20 or more with the central government by notification may with specification or may specify. The act shall continue to apply even after the number of workmen falls below 20. Once they are included under PF, the number has come down. Even at the time also, the act will be in enforcement, my dear friends. The next one is we have the Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act of 1970. The act came into force on 10 February in the year 1971. The purpose of the act is to regulate the employment of contract labor in certain establishments and to provide for the abolition of bonded labor system to prevent the economic and physical exploitation of the weaker sections of the society. You must have seen that almost last year in nearby Chamnar in Hyderabad, Telangana state, 400 children have been rescued from the bangle industry. All these 400 children have been brought from the northeastern part or from Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, those areas, and they were forced to work in the bangle industry. And they were forced to work for more than 14 to 16 or 18 hours a day. And if they're not going to do the work, they were simply punished, my dear friends. So in order to stop this kind of issues or problems, this act was brought, my dear friends, which is going to abolish the bonded labor system, because this bonded labor system is going to exploit the people both physically as well as economically, my dear friends. This act is will be applied across the country, my dear friends, in each and every establishment where minimum 20 or more people are employed, my dear friends, for a period of 12 months across the year on contract basis. Now, this about the provisions being provided by for the workers in various industries according to various acts, my dear friends. We have discussed about the Factories Act of 1948, the Plantation Act of 1951. Then we have discussed the Mines Act 1951, Workmen Compensation Act 1933, the Maternity Benefit Act of 1961, the Employees State Insurance Act of 1948, the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, the Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act of 1952, the Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act of 1970. So, labor welfare is very much required to reduce the frustration of the individuals, improve their health, and also provide self-expression so that they can work effectively and they can also satisfy the requirements of the people back at home, which is going to lead to the overall development of the individual which contributes to the growth of the organization as well as the nation, my dear friends. For these reasons, in order to ensure that we are going to have a overall personality development of the individual, we need to provide certain welfare activities which can be both economical as well as non-economical measures, my dear friends. Now let us go for then to the next lesson: impact of globalization on industry and labor. Globalization is a new paradigm of world economy. Globalization, from the perspective of an economist, is all about the spread of free trade in the world. The process of globalization refers to the merging of national economies at the global level or at the international level. And India, in the year 1991, under the leadership of P.V. Narasimha Rao, the then Prime Minister of the country, we have gone for LPG model: liberalization of policies, privatization, and globalization. At that time, if any person wants to come to India and start the business, at the time it was 51 is to 49%. Like the Indian people or the Indian government is going to own 51% of the share in the industry, and a foreigner is going to have only 49% of the share in the industry. That means the Indian people are going to have two extra shares. That means they are going to decide what kind of people are required for our job, what must be the policy for recruiting the people, what must be the wage policy, everything. The Indian people are going to decide the terms and conditions for the functioning of the organization, my dear friends. According to the economic reforms initiated in 1991, they have made it to zero. That means any person can come to India and they can have 100% investment in the industry and they can dictate the terms for the organization. For example, before 1991, you must have heard about Hero Honda company, bike company. Honda wants to enter into India, but they cannot come 100%. So at the time, they have looked for a partner who was into that, but they could not find a decent partner. So they found a company which was manufacturing bicycles, Hero Bicycles. So Honda company, which was manufacturing bikes, had tie-up with Hero Cycles, and they have come up with a joint venture, Hero Honda Bikes. And once this 1991 reforms came, they were together for a stipulated time. And right now you can see that no more Hero Honda companies there. Hero Bikes came and Honda has been separated. Remember that. The same way we have Kawasaki, Maruti Suzuki. In terms of bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank. In terms of mobiles at the time, Sony Ericsson, and so on. But right now, my dear friends, we have gone for liberalizing the policies where people can come into India and start the business on their own without the Indian people's intervention or partnership. First one is liberalization of policies. At the time, even we have restrictions like we have classified the category industries into three categories: category A, B, and C. Category A used to be purely in the hands of government, my dear friends, like defense or all the equipment which is related with defense, all these things. It used to be purely in the hands of government. Coming to category B, it can be in the hands of the government, but it also has been open for the private sector, like transportation, telephone services, and so on. When we see the category C, it has been purely left to the into the hands of the people, my dear friends. But if you see, almost 4 years back, even the category A industries have been brought into liberalization of policies. We are going for a joint venture, public-private partnership in terms of manufacturing the defense equipment or missiles or anything, my dear friends. We have gone for this last 3 years back. So we have gone for liberalization of policies. Then the second one is privatization. They said that by every year, we are going to privatize the government jobs by 8%. So in the near future, all the government sectors will be privatized and government will not do any business, my dear friends. Economical transactions or economical activities will be purely left to the people itself, not to the government anymore. And the last one is globalization. That means any person can manufacture the products anywhere across the world and they can sell their products anywhere across the globe, my dear friends. That is the new concept which is coming and which has already done. And the world has been turned into a global village, my dear friends, global village. So once we are going to have this globalization, this is going to foster the competitiveness at company level, at the national level, as well as at the global level, my dear friends. So this is going to leads this leads the companies, management, and governments to embrace strategies in order to increase the labor effectiveness with reference to productivity, quality, and innovation. So the governments are also going to design certain policies. At the same time, even the management will also try to do certain policies in all the major falls or one of the major fall of globalization is the movement of people from one country to the other country for the trade as well as for work, my dear friends. It's not only that we are going to sell the products, my dear friends. Even people are migrating from one nation to the other nation in search of employment opportunities. So this globalization has both positive as well as negative effects on the society at large, my dear friends. So we'll be discussing about them in detail. Now let us discuss about the relation between globalization and industry. The spread of free trade which take globalization is going to take have several forms, my dear friends, challenges. The first one is globalization needs to have international integration of goods, labor, technology, and capital. That is the first thing. So when people are going to migrate from one place to the other place, we need to have the international integration, my dear friends. The next one is there is a huge demand for skilled workers, my dear friends, and decreasing demand for people who does not have the skill or semi-skilled, my dear friends. So each and every individual needs to be highly skilled, or else what happens because of globalization, we can import the people. That means some of our people will be unemployed. That means it may increase poverty. It may also try to increase the uh, uh, social issues like beggary, prostitution, pickpocketing, and so on, my dear friends. The next one is increased technology and communication facilities. These are going to facilitate higher education because there is a lot of technology which is increasing and there is communication. It is also going to increase the higher education levels, which also motivates the people to migrate from one nation to the other nation for better employment of opportunities, for better working conditions, and so on. Then we also have ease of travel, which allows free movement of human resources to compete on par with the international level. And we also have decentralization of labor market to industrial hubs. Now let us discuss about the positive effects of globalization on industries. The first one is we are going to have technology transfer. Technology transfer. Right now, see, uh, Corona has taught us a lot because it was spreading like anything, and most of the people have suffered, and most of the people have been put to death. It has taught us how to be healthy, what kind of healthy practices we need to follow, how to maintain social distance when and wherever required, what kind of precautions we need to take. Along with that, do you know, in terms of education, my dear friends, we started using the online platforms. Right now, you guys are sitting at your home, and I'm sitting at my home, and we are communicating with each other. So, because of this new technology, my dear friends, wherever we are, irrespective of the geographical location, my dear friends, we can contact each other, we can communicate each other, my dear friends. The first one is technology transfer. Whatever the machines have been manufactured across the world can also be imported to India, and whatever the products are there manufactured in India, that can also be exported to anywhere across the world, my dear friends. So the first one is technology transfer. If you're going to have sophisticated machines, that is going to be that is going to increase the productivity. It is going to be cost effective. It can maintain the quality of the products and so on, my dear friends. So globalization in this way try to help to accelerate the efficiency. Transfer of technology has facilitated better use of transferring resources, my dear friends. The second one is um, people have been migrating from one place to the other place. So one maybe for multiple purposes. It may be for education, it may be for employment, it may be for health, and so on. So all these people may gather together, and when they gather, they are going to experience about different cultures, different food habits, choices, fashions, and so on. As a result of people's choices, they may also like other people's choices, their culture, and they may also like it, my dear friends. And they want to have become, or they may become more fashionable, or they may accept the products of the other cultures, my dear friends. So this is going to bring acculturation, my dear friends, amalgamation of different cultures, my dear friends. Then the next one is that because as the globalization is being accelerated, the demand for development is also increasing. The development is also being accelerated, my dear friends. People are keen to have the best class infrastructure, facilities, world class products, branded products. They want a better means of transportation and roads. They want to stay in villas instead of staying in the independent house in traditional way. uh, Even you have seen that people are willing to go for the apartments because the so-called skyscrapers, my dear friends, are going to have spaces like parks, um, indoor games, facilities for indoor games and outdoor games. They're having temple or religious places within that. And all the people with the same social status, my dear friends, they can reside in that and they can also take care of the children properly. So these kind of new concepts are being evolved, and these are also going to have greater impact and greater demand. If you go to Uppal Stadium, just nearby Uppal Stadium, there is a new apartments coming up. One of my friends has booked an apartment in that 3 years back, and they are going to hand over the flat to him in the year 2027. And the cost of the flat is nearly 1.8 crores. I asked, sir, why you are investing 1.8 crores? That too, you can have an independent house outside, and you can also save money. You can also get rents, everything. He said that they're going there. My child will have the best facilities. He will have the company of good people. So obviously, good relations, good everything. He will have a decent life. That kind of new culture is being taken over by the people in the 21st century. Then we also have um, industrial development to that of ancillary units. As there is a demand for certain goods and services are increased, related industries will also increase, my dear friends. For example, all of you must, any one of you must have gone for KFC. You must have liked the KFC chicken. Actually, this is manufactured in America, and American people are going to export that KFC chicken to various parts of the globe. So now people are taking franchise to start KFC stores across the country in India also. And once the product is coming, it is not directly coming to the KFC stores, my dear friends. We are going to have a distributor at the national level as well as at the regional level. And these people are going to put on the order, place the order to the KFC wala in America, and he's going to export the products to the people, maybe at the national level or at the regional level in the country. And these people, after getting that, they have to keep this product in the cold rooms. They cannot be placed in the normal room temperature. The food will be spoiled. So for that reason, do you know what happens? Now we have go downs or cold rooms where we are going to keep the food there. And now, if you want to supply this from the cold room to that of the customers, like, then obviously you require transportation. That too with the AC so that the food will not be spoiled. There will not be any fluctuation of temperature, or else the food will be spoiled again. So whatever the auxiliary industries are units are there, that are also going to be increased, my dear friends. All the industry related small scale industries are also going to gain its momentum, my dear friends. Then we also have the influence on agriculture. Globalization is affecting the industries directly. On the other hand, necessarily agriculture material needed are also being developed, my dear friends. For example, India has supplied or being supplying the rice to almost 40 nations, my dear friends. We are supplying the food for a larger part of the world. And recently, Thailand has raised an concern at the World Trade Organization, saying that India is supplying the food which is purchased on subsidized rate to the world, which is going to, because they are purchasing on subsidized rate, the price of the rice is also very, very nominal, which is going to keep a check to the other markets across the world. And they said that the World Trade Organization has to put certain conditions or limitations or sanctions on India, my dear friends, because this globalization is going to affect the market. If we see the Indian market, like China is going to play a vital role in Indian market. Chinese products, we are getting the Chinese products for cheaper rate. You can also see the plastic containers for 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, and even China crackers and so on, my dear friends. And these are coming for cheaper rates with certain effect. They are going to have certain effect on the human health as well as on the nature, my dear friends. For that reason, the government of India also has put on some sanctions on the Chinese products and also banned certain products, my dear friends, which are being imported from China. So we are also going to have, in fact, impact, influence on the industry as well as on the agriculture products, my dear friends. And in order to increase the agriculture related products, my dear friends, they are going for corporate farming. That means a lot of people are going to come together. Means the industry goes to the people. They are going to organize them and they are going to give a seed for them and they are asking them to do the cultivation. And if the cultivation is going to be met with the standards fixed by the industry, then they are going to purchase the product, or else that is being rejected by the industry, my dear friends. So already corporate farming came into existence. And right now we are talking about natural farming and so on, so that we can increase the quality of the product. And in some cases, we are using a lot of fertilizers, chemicals in order to increase the intensity of production and so on, my dear friends. Now, this is going to, the globalization is also going to influence the standard of living. The standard of living. The standard of living is being increased with rapid urbanization through electronic media. People are gathering the information across the world and they are utilizing it for their betterment. People are becoming more interested in modern way of life and they are ready to enjoy the new products. In the olden days, for example, if any person used to have health related issues, like they used to simply go and do the prayer to the god, or else they may go to the witchcraft and so on. But in the modern societies, whenever people are having any health issues, they are preferring to go to the doctor and getting a treatment rather than going to the religious places or going to the witchcraft, my dear friends. So it is going to bring awareness among the individuals and that is going to change. In the olden days, people used to think that if I'm going to do the right things, then only the doors of heaven will be open for me and I have to do all this. But right now, people are saying that let me do whatever is right, but I will do whatever is right for me, abiding to the laws of the society. There's only one life. Let me enjoy the life to the fullest. I don't know about my previous birth, and I don't know what will I be in the future. So let me enjoy my life to the fullest. That kind of lifestyle is being adopted by majority of the people in so-called urban centers. Uh, the next one is we're also going to have knowledge creation. In the olden days or in the traditional societies, my dear friends, the societies have expected the people to follow the traditional practices only. If any person is going to get deviated or if any person wants to bring new things, there's to simply kick them out of the community or else there's to be punishments for them. But this modernization or this globalization has given or has opened the doors for innovation and this knowledge creation through research and development activities. Uh, this research is not only being taken up by the government sector, my dear friends, even They are encouraging the private sector to do a lot of research, my dear friends, so that we can build up more knowledge and we can. For example, people have done the research and they said that even plants and trees also have life. Jagadish Chandra Bose has said that we studied this in our 6th or 7th class. How many of you know that even the plants, because it has life, it also has mood swings? And do you think that the plants can also sing? My dear friends, some scientists have invented a machine. If you're going to put on that to the leaves of the plants, it is also going to decode the voice or the music being generated by the plants, my dear friends. So they have done the research on plants. Even plants do sing. And if the plants are happy, they grow healthy. They grow healthy. They they flower like anything, and they're also going to have more fruits or flowers, my dear friends. So already that is being done. And America, they have gone one step forward, and they also want to know whether spirits are there, whether the ghosts are there or not. In order to find whether ghosts are there or not, they have also invented a machine which is going to identify the where the ghosts reside, and so they also invented a machine which is going to decode the voice of the ghost also, my dear friends. So we are going to do a lot of research, both by the public and private sector, in terms of technology, in terms of whatnot, my dear friends. Once upon a time, in terms of wars, my dear friends, people used to take the swords and go and fight manually. Later on, you can see jet fighters came. Then we have tanks and so on. Both along with manual, different things came. And right now, my dear friends, there is no need for you to go. There is no need for us to lose the manpower. We can simply use the technology, send a machine, and that machine is going to simply put on a bomb and it will simply come. That kind of systems also came. And in order to protect from the bombs, like we have like S-400 domes or shields, like which is going to protect the nation from the bombs which are coming from the enemy countries. Like so, new inventions are taking place, my dear friends. The next one is increase in investment, because there are new innovations taking place, new industries are coming, a lot of industries are coming as the population is also increasing and the people are aspiring to have the quality products, my dear friends. So there is an increase in investment. So more people are investing money in this sector. Say either it can be agriculture, or whether it can be industries, or it can be service sector, my dear friends. A lot of investment is being done. And in order to invest the money, whenever our Prime Minister has gone anywhere across the world, in order to attract the Indians, NRIs, non-resident Indians, he is to have a platform, he is to request them, motivate them to send the money back to India or invest in Indian companies, so that the Indian industries will also compete along with the industries at the global arena, and also increase the production so that the GDP of the nation can also increase. Then last one is we are going to have conducive environment, which is good, which is favorable for the investors. Think if there is no security for the property, if there is no security for the money which I have invested, then obviously what happens? No one will be willing to take the risk. Or once a person is lost, then obviously no other person will go and invest in that organization. So it is the duty of the government to facilitate favorable conditions for friendly investment, my dear friends. The next one is, because we have liberalized the policies and we have we have gone for globalization, it has reduced the barriers for cross-border trade and commerce, my dear friends. And sometimes, because there is shortage of availability of goods and services in my country, I'm going to import the products from the other countries. That means the supply of products will be more. That means the price of the commodity will also be less, my dear friends, because of excessive availability of the products. That means the consumers will be benefited. So these are the benefits of this globalization. But this globalization also has the negative effects on industries. First one is technology obsolescence. So the free exchange of ideas, information, and innovation, today's technology has become obsolete tomorrow. As a result, a huge amount of losses occur. On account of the industries always face the need for investing in upgrading of technology and higher demand for capital will always be there because technology goes on changing. Our duty is to change the machines as per the changing requirements or demands, my dear friends. That is the first problem, my dear friends. Then the next one, as the industries are coming up, we also have people migrating from the rural areas to that of the urban areas in search of employment. So if you're going to have a proper town planning, it's well and fine. But if you're not going to have a proper town planning, it may lead to problems, my dear friends. It may lead to unplanned urbanization, my dear friends. That means there'll be a lot of traffic jams. There'll be shortage of water, drinking water. Underground water may be exhausted, just like you can see the problem what is happening in Bangalore right now. So there can be a lot of issues, my dear friends. Then the next one is hoardings and artificial advanced technology. For this hand, sometimes the people may create artificial prices for raw materials and hold them. And then because there is shortage, because of the gossip or the news went into the market, people come to the shops to purchase it. So at the time they sell the products for huge prices, my dear friends. Last year, there was a gossip in Hyderabad saying that the salt production has come down or stopped, and within 2 or 3 days, the whole salt will be exhausted. So the salt will not be available for next 6 months. And most of the people rush to Charminar nearby area. Okay. And sometimes there are chances that there can be artificial shortages created by the business people. Now let us discuss about the impact of globalization on labor. There is a common belief that globalization harms the interests of workers, especially unskilled workers. It may be directly through immigration or indirectly through trade and capital mobility. Obviously, what happens, the industries are going to use a lot of mechanization in order to reduce the production cost, in order to increase the efficiency. There was those things. I was working at an engineering college in Maharashtra, and then I got an opportunity to visit Haldiram's plant. They were making three types of products. They're manufacturing three types of products, and they're supplying across the country, my dear friends. When we visited there, we were shocked to see that a company which is manufacturing three types of products, moong dal like three types of products, supplying across the country, has hardly 60 to 70 people working in the firm. At the initial stage, there are three shifts, like there are containers that you need to simply put the flour, chili powder, salt, and all the machines who makes it and it's going to process the chips. So at the initial stage, only three people to put on the flour ingredients into the containers. In the second place, like there are people who are going to take the chips and they're going to do the tasting whether it's properly mixed, properly baked or not. So three shifts with two people. So only in the laboratory, around 10 people are working. And at last, it's being packed. There, around 10 people are working. And altogether in the industry, 60 people are working in the industry, which is going to supply the products across the country, my dear friends. And there is a chips manufacturing country in America, which process 30,000 tons of potatoes every day. 30,000 tons, not kgs, tons. 30,000 thousands of kgs of potatoes every day. and it supplies the products across the world. And in that organization, only 50 people, less than 50 people are working in that industry, which is going to process 30,000 tons of potatoes every day. So machines, my dear friends, globalization and excessive technology, use of technology is a threat for the interests of the workers because it does not employ unskilled labor or semi-skilled labor. Sometimes even the skill is there because of mechanization, my dear friends. The people may be replaced by machines, my dear friends. Then it is also a big threat for the wages and jobs because there is a huge demand for the jobs because mechanization is going to replace the people by the machines. So some of the people will be losing the jobs. So there are less jobs. So huge demand for jobs at that time. The wages will be very, very less also, my dear friends. And people will be ready to move from one place to the other place. But because of the conditions, my dear friends, they will not be benefited out of it. The next one is um, sometimes the labor market um, is one of the main networks through the globalization, which is going to affect the countries. Besides job destruction, my dear friends, it proceeds faster than job creation. Hence, many countries may escort high unemployment rates in the coming years. Labor migration is also one of the global phenomena, which is shifting the uh, migration patterns. Besides that, international labor flow always is being mixed with the refugees, my dear friends. Now, let us discuss about the positive impact of globalization on labor. 1 minute. Sorry, friends. Okay. So we are also going to have positive effects of globalization on labor. The first thing is that we are going to have a change on labor culture in countries. The positive one is the increased living standards of the people for residing in various countries, my dear friends. Along with that, workers from specific areas can travel and pursue better employment in other countries also. We can see a lot of our people are migrating to America, they are going to Arab countries, and they're also making a living there, my dear friends. So people can migrate from one country to the other country, and they can also better their employment opportunities. Globalization has increased the social awareness among workers. So it is going to boost their morale, and they're also aspiring for higher things in terms of professional arena. We also have increased accessibility. Right now, sometimes there is no need for us to go and stay in America to work in the American industries. Sitting in India, also, my dear friends, we can also stay there. So, work from home also came, and they're opening their branches at different parts of the world. So, this kind of things are happening. Next one is we also have better standard of living. The next one is we are going to have barrier-less policies because globalization process has resulted in the creation of few trade blocs. For example, we have a European Union, an organization of 27 European countries with unified economies and free movement policies, my dear friends, among these 27 nations. We are going to have barrier-less policies like we are going to have the awareness on the rights and obligations of the workers and the management. We know what kind of immigration policies are there, how people can be mistreated or discriminated. So all these things can also be done, my dear friends. It's going to have this way, okay, positive way. It is going to bring awareness among the people. So whenever a person is going to mistreat them, or else if any person is going to pay them less, like they can also fight for their rights. International Labour Organization is going to design the policies for the labor, for the industries, from time to time, whenever and wherever it is required. And the next positive one is that it is going to have uh, advancement in career prospects, my dear friends, because many workers are enrolling in universities and they are doing higher studies, which is going to help them in enhancing their skills, having a professional development. So people are engaging in educational activities as well as on programs like seminars, training sessions in order to get more employability. Now, let us discuss about the negative impact of globalization on labor. First one is assimilation problems. When different people from different countries are going to come and work at one place, there are chances that these people may not be in a position to adjust with each other because of the differences in culture, their practices, and so on, my dear friends. That is the first one. Second one is increase in poverty because unskilled and semi-skilled people may not get the jobs. It may increase poverty. Uh, Globalization may not be in the interest of the workers. Okay, then they may be paid less. Then the employment rate may come down because of increased imports. That means the local markets will be killed and people may lose jobs and profits, my dear friends, which is going to increase the unemployment rate. And if you see, it is going to increase the income inequalities because only the skilled people are going to get the jobs, whereas the unskilled may not find a job, a decent job, my dear friends. So we are going to have export skill intensive goods, and the other people may not get the jobs. And because of the free trade, everything, my dear friends, people may also come into India. You can also see Americans, Chinese, Thai, all the people are coming to India and they're working in the branches of the companies of their native places, my dear friends. So people coming into our country may also increase, my dear friends. Uh, these kind of problems will be there, my dear friends, in terms of negative impact on labor, my dear friends. So it is the duty of the government to design the policies to look after the interest of the